Greetings, everyone. Can you see me well? Can you hear me well? We are about to start our second workshop in AI-Assisted Coding 101 series, sponsored by KiloCode, led by Aleks Voloshev. And the team. Yes, all good, loud and clear. I see there is almost 100 people already. I expect some latecomers. So let's go. Good. Так, so let's begin with, we are going to do many awesome things today. Let's move. First things first, about the team. With you today, me here on the screen, and Brandon in the chat. I hope some other people will join also from KiloCode. Yeah, Tony, yes, I changed my laptop, and now it's a new Mac M4, and it's absolutely awesome one. It's running so many things right now, and it didn't even turn on the cooling system yet. Like, it's just like super quiet here. So yeah, I see some of you've been at the previous workshop, like that makes me especially happy, of course. So let's move. Questions of the day. On this workshop, we are here today to answer 3 questions. What is Model Context Protocol? How MCP servers work and how do we use them? How to install and use them? But the meta question I always find very important to answer is why do we need them at all? So we will begin with why would we need any MCP servers? And in short answer is do we need them? Yes, definitely. We need a lot of them. And after this workshop, I think you're going to use them all the time. But also not too much. And I will show you why. And I will show you what can be wrong in using MCP servers. So I was just speaking of the questions. And now I'm going to ask you some questions. So please jump onto Menti. And prepare to answer my questions first. Now, I will ask you questions 2 times. I will ask you questions in the beginning of the workshop. Those are just setup questions, so you make yourself familiar with Menti and see how it goes and get used to it. And by the way, let me unlock for you the... Yeah, so I'm not hiding anymore the QR code. So first set of questions are about you, how deep you are in the code, so I can understand how deep we can go into the code today. Yep. And second part of the questions will be quiz in the end of the workshop. I will ask you questions. You will have to give me answers. You will have to give me answers fast. And if you give the right answers and if you give them fast enough, you will earn credits. You know, this event is sponsored by KiloCode AI, but it's those credits we give today, they are expiring. You will have just a few days to use them. We want like slightly to force you to use them within a few days. But those credits, what quiz winners get, they will not expire. They stay for you if you decide to use them this day or next month. It's everything on you to decide. Okay. So now, next thing we want to do is to begin with the questions. Question 1. How long are you in software engineering? This is a session for programmers mostly, so I assume some of you have some experience already. And by the way, Saverio, very good to see you. I see there are attendees of my previous workshops regarding decentralized databases. That's awesome to see old friends here. Hi, Saverio. Va bene? Good. I see you are already a few years into that. That's good. If you're a beginner, that's an exciting time to join engineering. AI helps so much to beginners and to professionals. That's incredible. We will talk a lot about that in the future. For now, let's keep moving. Are you familiar with KiloCode? Not at all. a little bit, a lot. So there are some new users. Wonderful. Half of the people use Kilo a lot, or at least have heard about what is it at all. Wonderful. I will say 2 words about what is Kilo in a second, but not too much because I want to stick to MCP. That's why we are here again. William, to join the questions and answers, you can use menti.com and the code written on top of the screen, 7830-0913. Just go to menti.com. Yes, buenos dias, buenos dias. Yeah. So, and there are some people I see using another tools. First, we are not judging, whatever you prefer. And second, MCP principles will be everywhere the same. So you can try to use the same ideas with your tool or just install Kilo. It's free, it's open source, so there are no problems with that. And I see there are new users. That is wonderful. Now, let's go. Where are you from? So I'm located in Germany. I live in Germany for 10 years already. It's 4 p.m. here, yeah, and like I see people from United States are joining. Welcome. Good morning, friends. And I see people from Asia and from remote Asia. That must be deep at night. Like, what is the latest time at your place right now? Is there anyone can say like it's 2 a.m.? No cloud connection. It's not German accent. It's actually Russian accent. I'm historically from St. Petersburg. Like 9 p.m. Southeast Asia. No, like show me who is the most hardcore competitor, who is most hardcore joiner today. Anyone has like 1 a.m. Ivory West Coast, West Africa. Wow. Wow. 10 p.m. Okay. Yeah. Great. So, but yeah, we are totally international. Like, you know, what people like let me make a screenshot of that. I love this slide. I just super love this slide. That's like how international we are. That is wonderful. And then finally, what's your most hated programming language? Not the most loved. What the language you would need to be forced with a gun to your face to use? Oh, English. I wouldn't call English programming language, but okay, JavaScript, okay, very much understandable. PHP, well, popular. Well, actually, modern PHP is not that bad, people. Frankly, assembly is beautiful. Okay, MATLAB, yeah, I hear you. Like other Excel, that's interesting. Okay, Cabal, Ruby, but well, Ruby is not that bad. I'm not a fan of Ruby, but like, is that Ruby is that bad? Like, okay. Good. So most people vote for Java. Java is leading and PHP is getting close. I don't know what guys Java made to you. It's like a little bit verbose, but like, no, I'm in general Java guy. I have very big problems with JavaScript. Yeah, and with TypeScript, it's like love-hate relationship. I see no one's said Golang. Is there anyone, is there no one using it or just everyone loving it that much? Okay, that's enough. Let's go. Then, no, quiz comes later, and we begin with our slides then. So it's a very hands-on workshop. You will be doing a lot of hands-on work. I need you to have your laptops. I need you to have your VS Code or whatever VS Code compatible IDE you use, but it will happen later. And for now, we will stick to a few slides because we need to answer some questions. What do we do today? We discuss limitations of AI models. Why MCP? We say a few words on how it all works with how do you communicate with AI models. It's important, it matters, believe me. Then how AI models use APIs. And then we will do a couple of lab works, hands-on lab works, installing MCPs, using MCPs, and so on. And in the end, quiz with prizes. Good. Now, Now, good. By the way, before I forget, what do we do next Thursday? Next Thursday, same time, we do a deep dive into Model Context Protocol from the development point of view. We will develop live our own MCP server. You can do two things. You can follow me developing my own MCP server, or you can try to do something in parallel, an MCP server of your own. So don't forget to subscribe, set likes, subscribe on the YouTube channel, subscribe on the Eventbrite page, and participate in that and develop your own MCP server. Good. One word, okay, 3 words on Killer Code. Killer Code is a sponsor of this event, so kind of makes sense to mention what is it, right? So Killer Code is an AI coding agent and toolkit. So there is very many things you can do with Killer Code. It's an extension for Visual Studio Code. It works also in all the compatible IDEs like Cursor, Windsurf, Gitpod, and a few others what basically are forks of Visual Studio Code. It's open source, and it's a lovely project I'm proud to be a member of. So, let's move on. Credits. Do you want to have some credits? Yes, of course you do. So, Killer Code sponsors free credits for AI usage. Killer Code is free for use, it's open source. But as you are going to use some AI models, it's paid. If you are going for paid models, good models like Cloud Sonnet 4 or Google Gemini 2.5 Pro, all those things, they are not cheap. And we sponsor up to 100 United States dollars worth of token to use, and we go for that. So how do you get the credits? You will need to sign up for Killer Code. I guess most of you are already there. And in the bottom of your profile, so I'm going to killercode.ai/profile. Let me put the link. Yeah. You will see Vibe Engineering Thursday. There you should claim those credits by adding your GitHub username. But please notice, we want to grow our GitHub community. So we want you to create discussions and talk to us and suggest new features, report issues, report bugs, and all these kind of things. To get credits, you need to communicate with us on GitHub. It takes some time, so I don't want to rush you. For now, you can do just the simple thing, set a star to our GitHub project, killer.org Killer Code, and that will be enough. Then please use it. If you don't like it, then please go and remove the star. We don't want your star if you don't think we deserve it. I'm pretty sure we do. So go set a star, or maybe later create an issue and discussion. I will be very glad to read your messages and answer them. And that's the way you will get the credits. I already got them, as you see. Maybe I will show you while you are doing this how it looks if you don't. Yeah, so if you go to killercode.ai profile, you will have a window like that. And you need to put your GitHub username and check availability. That's all you need to do, but you will need to put some stars there. Yes, very well. So, what is GitHub link? So, GitHub link, actually, that's a good question. Could have been in the team. So, GitHub link will be, so GitHub, killer.org, Killer Code. Let me paste it to the chat. So for now, just set a GitHub star and that will do it. Oh yeah, I see people getting the credits. Nice, Murphy, nice. If you get the credits, set the thumbs up in the chat so I know you got the credits and we can move on. That would be really handy. Hey, you're welcome, Tony. Good. So please don't forget, those credits will expire after a few days. So use them today, tomorrow, next day. Maybe Brandon can say, I believe it's for till the end of a Sunday. Good. Okay. Yeah, credits expire on 26th. Oh, wow. That is now very generous of ours. Longer this time. Brandon, you are very friendly to our people today. Yeah, let's get coding. Ah, Cobra, familiar name. I guess I saw you on Discord. So welcome to the live event. Nice. Now, let's get back and let's keep moving. So you got your credits. Should I wait for someone or we can move on? I want to move on. I want to discuss so many things today. So, okay, you can get credits later. If you didn't yet, now all eyes on me and let's keep moving. I want us to do things today. You can get the credits. Saverio, you might be a new user. Maybe there is a need to add a payment method. So take a look, guys. If your balance for whatever reason haven't updated, don't worry. We will fix it. We will take care of it. It all comes. But for now, let's focus on the content. Yeah, Murphy is right. Let's move on. If you didn't get the credit, we will take care of it. Good. So, question. Why do we need MCPs? I will answer you with this simple dialogue. How do LLMs use APIs? Answer is maybe not that obvious, but actually LLMs by themselves naturally do not use APIs at all. They cannot. They do not. And if you think, Alex, you are wrong, let me tell you this. Wait, how do you mean AI models don't use APIs? When I ask whatever Cloud is on net to create an application for me, and then Kilo will go and create an application for me. And that's the answer is hidden in the question. Kilo writes, not Sonnet you are working with, not Gemini you are working with, not Devstral you are working with, but Kilo writes. Those models running far, far away in the cloud, they have nothing to do with your code. They are only receiving text as an input and returning some text as an output, and that's it. That's just a text. This text cannot do anything with your computer, nothing at all. And that's like the only thing how LLM works. Now, but still, like there is a fact, Kilo code writes files. Maybe you don't use Kilo, but some another tool, but the idea is modern coding agents, they do changes. They work with file system, and file system is basically API. How does that happen? Let's take a look. That's how it's implemented. Quick reminder on the prompt. What's the prompt? Prompt is the data what goes to AI model, to LLM from you. It consists basically of two parts. User prompt, that's what you type, and system prompt. That's what coding agent adds to your prompt and then sends it to the AI model. Now, system prompt consists of very many important things. We will take a look at some of them today. But for our today's purpose, the most important thing what is included in the system prompt is the tools, tool definitions. If you open system tools, if you open system prompt in your Kilo code, you will see what there are many tool definitions. I'm highlighting here some of you for that. So that's a part of a system prompt. And in the part of tool use, it explains to LLM, to AI model you're going to work with, what you have set to the set of tools. You can use them, you can answer with them one tool at a time, one tool per answer. And tool use formatting. So using tools, you always use XML, describing what tool you are going to use and what the parameters will be given to those tools. Now, what kind of tools there are? For example, there is a write to file tool, and its example declaration example use will look like that. So write to file, usage of a tool, then what will be path and what will be content, and what is a line count. Line count is to validate what there are no mistakes. So typical use of write to file will look exactly like that. That's what described in tool definitions, which is a part of a system prompt, what goes to AI model. And then AI model receives it with your prompt and system prompt together. It knows what it has tools, and that's how to use them. And then if, for example, AI model decides what to fulfill the task, you need to do something like create a file in this case. So after doing API request, it will respond with this XML, just like that. Create a file, write to file, that's the content, that's the path, that's how many line counts in the content to prevent any possible mistakes. And then Kilo parses this response, sees the tool usage, calls appropriate tool, and implements it. But file writing is done by obviously Kilo, not by LLM. LLM has no access to your file system API. So what are the most used tools here? There are around 16 or 17 by now. But most used tools, I would say read file. You can't have AI model using and developing your application if it cannot read files of this application, right? Apply div, so make some changes. Insert content, put some content in the file. Search for files, search and replace to replace something. Execute console command, ask follow-up questions. And attempt completion that's what model tries to use. It's a tool model tries to use, then it thinks what task is done successfully. Now, take a look. We already know what models, AI models, cannot use APIs. They don't. But still, we want them to do it. Well, then, how do we make them to do it? We just give them tools. We already doing that, but there is a question. Killer Code implements 16 or 17 tools at the moment. Now, there is a great question. I worked with GitHub, and you maybe work with GitLab, and developer C doesn't use any versioning tools at all. And I work a lot with Apache Cassandra database. And another developer works a little bit with Mongo, and more and more and more and more and more tools. Do you think Killer Code should support all those tools? First of all, there will be thousands, maybe dozens, thousands of them. Second, being included in the system prompt, we will just take all your context window even before LLM will get to the answer. And second, like, why include something what you don't need? And why do we need to do this job is maybe much better job can be done by GitLab team, for example. Yeah, right? So the idea of MCPs is what it's a unified set of tools. LLMs don't use tools. LLMs write formatted text commands, and then agent use tools. Model context protocol is nothing but a unified way to give tool definitions to AI models. So I just explained it to you what is model context protocol. I guess workshop is done, right? No. No, I will stay with you for some longer time. So take a look. I will explain you more with that. I will do demo in a moment later, and I want to do this in a moment later. So applying tools like creating GitHub issues or making some calls to some remote APIs done with tools. And there are very, very many different tools. We have to understand difference between what is a coding agent responsibility, like Killer Code, for example, and what's the part of the MCP by itself, MCP server. So what does coding agent does? It collects available MCP tools and adds them to a system prompt. And then LLM in the response asks to use some tool. It will use native tool directly because it already knows how to use it. Or instead, if it was an MCP tool, it will call MCP server to use this tool. And MCP server part, there are basically only two responsibilities. Give its tool definitions to an agent and use proper tools when asked by an agent. That everything what MCP server does. If your MCP server gives only one possible method, I don't know, make an API call to local pizzeria and order a pizza. Your local pizzeria, I hope, supports API, like provides some API, right? So basically, your MCP server will publicly have only two methods. One method which describes which tool it supports, and second method will be precisely this tool of order pizza by itself. That's it. There is nothing more. That's very simple. That's what coding agent does, and that's what MCP server does. There is nothing more. That's a very simple that. I will answer some questions in a moment, but let me finish with this part of explanation so far. So, you know what? First, actually, I want to show you working with MCP server. It's a demo, so for now you can just watch me doing this, and then you will do it yourself in the next hands-on lab coming up soon. And let's go. So here I have killer code, and let me switch, I guess, to the coding mode so you will see more. I'm working on a little TypeScript application here, and I don't need killer code page here. I will make it slightly bigger so you can see what's happening. I hope my screen is visible right now. Okay, good. So typical killer code installation. Yeah. And currently I have no MCP tools installed, no nothing. It's a standard installation. It's killer code version. What version it is? Must be most recent 449.2. Just like I made release digest 445 just last Friday, and 6 days ago, and it's already 449. You see how tremendous amount of changes there is happening. That's awesome how it all quickly develops. Thanks to the community, of course. So I keep my killer code interface on the right. And I'm going to walk, as you see, I'm using SunNet 4. And I'm going to MCP servers. And there are plenty of tools on the marketplace. I want to begin with GitHub. For the purposes of this demonstration, I will install this project-wise, so it will be available only to this project, but not to our project I run. Actually, for GitHub installation, maybe I would go with global installation, because I do use GitHub for like everything, publicly or privately, doesn't matter. But like, okay, let's consider project installation for now. For the prerequisites, you will need two things: GitHub account, I guess you do, and Docker up and running. I have Docker up and running here. Why Docker? Take a look. MCP server is a little application what can run remotely, but in most of the cases it will be running locally on your machine. It can be just Python script, TypeScript, whatever thing, but one of the most convenient ways to distribute some things what are supposed to be running everywhere is Docker, of course. So I hope you have Docker. If don't, well, it will be hard for you to follow this part, but I hope to do. Good. Now, to set it up, first thing we need to do here is to give your GitHub personal access token. Where do you get it? You can go to your GitHub page, go to settings. Let me make it bigger slightly. Then on the left bottom of the menu, there will be developer settings. and we will have personal access tokens, and I will go for fine-grained tokens. And you generate a new token right here. I already have token generated, so I will stick to my own for now. I will not generate it in front of you for the security reasons, but I have it somewhere here. I believe, yes. Now I want to hide it a little bit. Yeah. And it's fine to show a part of a token. I will use standard GitHub toolset, so it will access the repositories, issues, pull requests. If you want to limit its ability to do the things, then you can set what's optional, what's has to be there, and so on and so forth. And you can switch GitHub to read-only mode if you don't trust with MCP or models, or if you work with highly important code and you don't want any changes there. You will see how it goes. There are still confirmations required for this on our actions. For now, I will say install. And we go. You can see what GitHub has been successfully installed, GitHub MCP. And it's done. Let's take a look at the thing. Now, we can take a look at few files, a few interesting files. First, notice there is a new file called MCP in a kilocode folder. And that's nothing but a description of what MCP servers are added to this project. Meanwhile, there is a very good discussion happening in the comments. I see with one eye. I will say a word about it as soon as I finish with this one. So you see what there is a GitHub server, and there is this definition. What are the tool sets? If it's read-only, it's not read-only. What's the token? And so on and so forth, like how to run it properly and which command to execute. Theoretically, you can add an MCP servers directly to this file without doing all this installation. There is no need in that. But like in general, that's the way how it goes. In the user interface, we see what GitHub is added. It shows error. Actually, it's not error, it's just output. It's highlighted as an error, it's not. We see what resources this MCP server provides. So there is a repository content for specific branch, how to do this, how to do that. It's explanation to a model, how to use it, and 67 tools added. Now let's take a look at the system prompt. That's very interesting part. So I can go to prompts. I can go to modes, sorry. I can go and preview system prompt. Actually, I will better copy system prompt. And now I will create a new file. Not in kilocode, just here. I will create a new file. System prompt. Markdown, and I will paste this system prompt here so we can take a look on what is it and how it works. For now, I will hide kilocode so we can see it better. So that's a pretty big file. And now notice this file content added to each and every your request. That's what makes LLM models so powerful and capable of using, creating files, writing files, making git diff and applying changes, and so on and so forth, and so on and so forth. So every time, people. So that answers the questions like how many MCP servers I should be using. I would recommend, if you need MCP, then of course add it, but if you don't use it, better switch it off because it will burn your tokens quickly. But why did I get there? Why do I show this system prompt to you? So there is a tool use definition I've been talking about, but now let me look for GitHub. And there is a section called GitHub Connected MCP Servers, and there will be tool definitions from GitHub. And there will be a lot of them. A lot of them. I mean, like a lot. 67 tool definitions. explanations like when to use them, get pull request files, get the files, change it in a specific pull request. Very important for the, for example, for the pull review if you're going to do it right here. So that's a very powerful tool. But now notice, maybe working with LLMs, you actually want not just install LLM, but configure it properly. How to configure it properly? You can go here, you can open this GitHub, and you can switch off tools you are not going to use maybe. So take a look. Here, toggle inclusion in prompt. Add issue comment. You need it if you want to write a comment to an issue. If you're not going to do it, then hide it. It will be removed from system prompt, and it will be not available to your LLM. Or maybe you are going to use it and you are fine with the LLM writing comments without your confirmation, so it will be more of vibe and a bit less of engineering. Then you want it to happen all the time. When you just checkbox always allow, and it will be allow it automatically. And you don't need to worry about that. Launch the process and leave. And if your Sonnet decides to write a comment to an issue, it will just do it without asking you for permission. This should be more or less safe to add, I hope. I would not recommend to keep always allow things available when you are working with less capable models. If you are using like local LLMs, Alama and guys like that, at the moment not performing very great, I would not trust them with that. Maybe in the future, when it's okay. For now, I would not go for it. Oh, for example, assign copilot to issue. I'm not going to use this thing. Then I can safely disable it, making consumed context slightly less. Cancel workflow run. I will not use a model to manage my workflow runs, so I can safely disable it. And thus saving a little bit more of the context every call you do. So using MCP burns more tokens, and you should be aware of that. I'm your friend. I'm warning you about that. Good. So we considered some things. Add some things to allow, always allow, and disabled some tools we are not going to use here. Good. And we went through these available tools. As you see, there is really a lot of GitHub related things now in this system prompt. Basically, biggest part of this prompt is now related to GitHub, as you might see on this mini map. I actually don't know if you see my mini map. It's pretty small here, but it's there. And yeah, it's mostly all about GitHub now. So now throw 40 more MCPs, and your context window will be full before sending anything to LLM actually. Good. So now, how do I use it? In general, there are two ways to go for it. First way will be just to ask LLM to do something for me. Create GitHub issue to add node models to gitignore. Just first thing what came to my mind. And then I guess I will need something like don't do it, just issue. Just only issue. Otherwise it will try to fix it. We know Cloud is very enthusiastic. Only issue. Good, that should be good. As I clearly state what I need, then mostly probably Sonnet will be smart enough to go and create this issue for me. We will see in a moment. Now, with some models and with some things, you might need to, it may be slightly more advanced. For example, very important MCP context 7, which gives to LLM up-to-date documentation about your framework or the libraries you are using. It's a really cool thing, but there is a problem with that. Models use model thinks they know everything, and they begin to hallucinate and invent some decisions what don't exist in real. So the point is, with some models, you need, not with some models, with some MCPs, you need kind of to force LLM to use them. So you just need to do something like use context 7 as a part of your prompt. Then it will be forced to use context 7. But with GitHub, it goes better. Так, what's the GitHub repository owner and name where you want to create the issue? Okay, it didn't guess where exactly I'm using. So I will just tell to it where we are right now. So it's Kila.org AI. Your GitHub repository will be different, of course. That should be enough, and it already has my token, so that hopefully should work. You see what it's going to create an issue. It's using GitHub MCP tool, create an issue. Always allow with owner Kila.org, repo, blah, 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 title, body, and so on and so forth. I will say approve, and resource not accessible by personal access tokens. Okay, so it's a company and it's closed from personal access token. Okay, very fine. So I will switch to my own then project. Let's say I want to. Actually, I think that's enough. Let's move on because I want you to do it. You will do it anyway, so I better switch to the next slides. And I will fix it while you will be doing in the end. So as a part of this demo, I did following things. I inspected system prompt. I installed GitHub MCP server locally. I showed you kilocode MCP JSON. I inspected new version of system prompt, and I played with new tools. I can't create an issue of using my personal access token in a company repo. I will switch to my private repo. But you get the idea, I guess. So now, last words about how it works, what you will understand with a model context protocol before you will move on your own. That is your computer here, and that's with hosted MCP client. So Cloud IDE tools, that's a slide from Cloud. Frankly, just copy it. I would do this diagram slightly better, but okay, I wanted to use original diagram. So there is what runs on your computer, and that's what runs in internet. There are two MCP servers here installing locally. So something what we just did with GitHub. Some MCP server can work with local context, with local data source. Some MCP server, like GitHub we just installed using HTTP API, can work with remote service, like we just saw. Also, MCP server can be installed and running somewhere in the cloud. It's absolutely fine. We might consider deploying it like that in the next workshop, but mostly probably we will stick to locally deployed MCP server. They're definitely much more widely spread at the moment. But that's the idea. We give, when running a question, we add tool definitions from SCPs to a query, to a prompt. Prompt goes to AI model. Model returns what it wants to do. And then looking at the tool, what it's used, we will call proper MCP server or use native tools. And then MCP server being called will do calls like to GitHub, for example, like you just saw. There is a question, is the GitHub MCP server compatible with a GitHub Enterprise instance? Frankly, I have no idea, didn't try. But yeah, Justin says mostly probably it isn't supported yet. I just don't know. I'm not an LLM, I'm better, hopefully. I will not hallucinate. If I don't know, I will just tell you I don't know. That's the MCP I would really need. I don't know MCP. I don't know MCP which tells to LLM to be honest and don't hallucinate and don't indent decision solutions what don't exist. Okay. Now, coding agent, we discussed it already, collects MCP tools and adds them to a prompt and then calls for tools. Then MCP server part gives a tools definition to an agent and uses tools when asked by an agent. And now it's a hands-on part. It's 10 minutes. Install GitHub MCP server locally. And I will start a timer on 10 minutes. It's running. Now you install GitHub MCP server, you install it locally, and you create an issue on GitHub, and you try to play with our tools, what GitHub MCP delivers to you. Now, don't forget to use your credits if you haven't worked if you haven't got your credits now, we can try to help you, and meanwhile I will answer your questions. So that's a good question by Mike. Would MCP file system would be faster than the current system prompt defined by the kilo? That is a very good question. So KiloCode supports operations with file system to read files, write files, and so on. You saw some of those tool definitions in the system prompt. There are also file system MCPs, and they are in a pretty high demand, and you can see them being downloaded and installed pretty often. And then you can begin to think like maybe Kilo is doing something wrong, or why people are using file system MCP all the time. Answer is yes, people using file system MCP, but those are people who use other agents or other tools, tools like Cloud, for example, not Cloud Code, but Cloud, because normal Cloud desktop before at least didn't have access to your file, but adding file system MCP gave it tools to operate with your files. Before, maybe now it's already integrated and available by default. Also, some other tools what can't access file system directly. So KiloCode does not need file system MCP. It does it natively. Question: will the file system MCP work better than native? I honestly don't know. So I don't know. I cannot answer it. I doubt that, because file system tool, like, does it understand Git, for example, and Git diffs, apply diff things? No, it's not. It can create file, it can read file, but like, will it work faster? No, I really doubt it, honestly. Then grouping changes working with files, KiloCode specialization is working with programming in environment. So no, I don't think it's it will be work better. Yeah, KiloCode can create an MCP server. That's what we are doing in a week. MCP error connection closed. So mostly probably MCP error connection closed. It means what Docker is not running, because this MCP is distributed via Docker. Sorry, guys, it's a little bit hot here. So if you don't have Docker running, that will be. Yeah. There is a awesome question by Chandra Mohan. How to use KiloCode as a non-coding beginner. Just 1 week ago, we did Introduction to AI-Assisted Coding 101 for coding beginners, but like for coding beginners. Foundations of coding and using AI for that may be a very good topic for one of the upcoming workshops. We will see. So maybe it comes later. Now, what's next? There is a question by Sidhant: why does KiloCode only support Cloud SNet 3.7 and not the latest SNet 4? That's just, I'm sorry, that's not correct. KiloCode supports Cloud SNet 4 in like, what, 2 or 3 hours since it's been released. I witnessed it. We were celebrating it in our office, in one of our offices in Amsterdam. Yeah. Any more good questions? Oh, you're asking many great questions. That's wonderful. Wasn't it on GitHub's roadmap to add OAuth to their MCP? I don't know. We need to see with GitHub. What your preferred MCP servers we should use for the full stack development? So far I was getting good results with Context 7, and I use GitHub all the time. Now, many people were very positive about sequential thinking MCP, haven't used it yet, so please use it and tell me. I'm very curious. There are only 24 hours in the day, and I have a girlfriend, and I have motorcycle, so I cannot dedicate all of them to the coding. So like it's, I need some time to do my own things. So yeah, tell me what you think about sequential thinking. I believe our Brandon used recently MCP something about V0 for front-end coding. There is a video about that on our channel. So like, subscribe, and watch the video later. If you're in the front-end, it definitely will be helpful. Are there any more good questions? Would you recommend to do a mode by MCP in order to not increase too much the context? You see, modes and system prompts are being built slightly differently, so I don't think using custom mode would really help with that. I'm not entirely sure about that. So, Murphy, killer code by itself is great, but you need to use it properly, and you need to work with the right LLMs. We definitely doing workshops on the best practices, how to get maximum. So doing coding right and understanding how web engineering works brings wonderful results. Like, guys, I wrote my first program in 1992 when I was 10 years old. And I've been in software engineering for, I don't know, over closer to 20 years, over 20 years on overall in IT. It's absolutely wonderful what you can do with AI and how fast you can go with AI, but you need to understand what you are doing. If you don't know where you're going, but like AI makes you move quickly. If you move quickly but don't know where are you going, then mostly probably you will arrive faster, very fast, to a place you didn't want to go. And with AI, you will arrive very much faster. So the thing for us is to learn how to use it properly, and that's not simple. It's partially craft, it's partially art, and we will learn how to do it through the next workshops and videos we will release. So you know what to do. Subscribe. Now, good. Okay, we have 2 minutes left, so please keep going. And please keep going, and let me see when you will be ready. By now you should have, please, so I know we are on the same page. You installed GitHub MCP server locally, and you did something with it, maybe create an issue, maybe something else. Set the thumbs up in the YouTube chat, so I know you are here, you are with me. And we can go over. Yeah, there is an interesting comment by Vigilante Systems. I have 11 modes now, quite fine-grained, and I run but orchestrator with big LLM and architects at Gemini 1 million context. Ours are cheaper ones like Documenter, Linter, Debugger, Reviewer. Yes, I really like this approach. Vigilante Systems, basically that's more or less what I'm doing. I have definitely more modes now, and they are very fine-grained and dedicated. I was very often using approach architect and for planning and coder for coding. And first thing I did, for example, is I edited architect mode to cut off all the fancy diagrams. I don't need them in architect mode. I create plan for coder. It needs to be short and simple. And don't put how many days will take implementation of this feature. You will not guess it right anyway. So for these kind of things, yeah, that's a very good approach overall. Killer code, try to use a web browser. I think I'm wrong. Maybe. Good. So I see a lot of thumbs ups. That's wonderful. And 10 minutes are over. Time is up, people. So you know what will happen there next. We will be keep working. I see our awesome team helps there in the chat. That is very, very, very good. Nice. I will retry later. Okay, yeah, beat 42. Good luck. I like the reference and the name. Yeah. Good. So looks like we are good to go. And we will see. Joel, to get the credits, you don't need code this time. You just go to killercode.ai profile, submit your GitHub user. I already did that. And set a star or write a discussion, write an issue in our repo. And well, then you get your 100 credits. And this time they expire like, yeah. You see, my dear Brandon was on vacation recently. And he added now, like, since he returned on vacation, now the bonus credits expire not in 4 days, but basically in almost a month. You see what vacations does to people. Like, we all need to go to vacation from time to time. I'm doing mine pretty soon, by the way. Okay, next thing. Let's return to the slides. Yeah, and basically on with this, I want to use MCP Server. And I want to install Context 7 server globally. Let's assume I want to use Context 7 with all my projects. Again, reminder, in general, doing it globally can be dangerous. Put 20 MCP servers there and your poor LLMs will suffer and you will burn a lot of money. So in general, be considerate installing things globally, but still I want to do it. We will check global MCP configuration and make AI model use it. As said, there is problem with some MCPs. LLMs will try to avoid using them by default. Next workshop from my motorcycle. That will be hard, but you know how my setup rig looks right now. It actually looks pretty fancy, so I'm pretty sure I can mount something like that on my motorcycle. I will send to the chat later, but it's all like smart rigs and light and camera. I have GoPro, so I can mount it and do workshop right from my motorcycle. Good. Give him more vacations. We love Brandon, but we need him. So we also need him to do some work for now. Actually, before proceeding with the lab 2, we will do following thing. Let's speak a little bit about MCP considerations. I want to be sure what we discuss downsides of the using of MCP. So MCP always, all your enabled MCP will always be enabled in a system, will always be added in a system prompt. I show you already how to disable them, how I showed you already how to disable tools and how to disable MCPs. I hope you found already without me. If you go to install it, let me hide myself for a second. So I want it to be visible for you. I will switch to coding. Yes. So you see here is GitHub installed, and I can switch it off, and now they're not in system prompt. And now I can open this one and switch off tools. So that's very important for the tools. Oops, wrong slide. Yeah. for the token consumption. Now, next thing, latency. Obviously, using tools and doing some things can add latency. For example, we not just communicate with LLM, but we also communicate with GitHub. If GitHub has whatever problems or whatever server you are calling for, there is a network latency, it will be a problem. So it will be just delayed, so it can go slower. And using AI models can be slow already. Then complexity. That's in general, all AI coding thing is relatively new, but question, guess, just throw a guess when MCP as a concept, MCP as a protocol was first published. Just write on the YouTube chat what you think when MCP was first introduced. If you know the right answer, then don't spoil the pleasure. Just like I'm really curious, just throw me a wild guess when MCP happened to be. Tell me, what is it like? 2021, maybe 2020, maybe 2015. 2 months ago, good. Anyone else? Just like 2024, Saverio, correct. It was late 2024. Yes, Murphy is right. It's November of 2024. So MCP as a protocol has been introduced. It's now beginning of July, then so it's 7, then December 8, less than 9 months ago, literally less than the protocol, the concept of the protocol. And then the first implementations, of course, like significant implementations, some months later, because first it needs to be proven what people are going to use it before GitHub guys will invest money into develop their own MCP. Yeah, Anthropic, so cloud creators, Anthropic created the protocol. Now there is a very important question, like how reliable do you think this thing is going to work? I can tell you, very, very many years ago, I worked in a computer store when Bluetooth just happened to be. And the things what people's been using now all the time, Bluetooth-related things, mouses, headphones, everything, they were just delivered to the supermarket. Computer store. I don't remember, it was early 2000s, something in this direction. And yeah, I was like 20 years old, maybe. Maybe slightly later, I don't remember when it's actually happened. And then people began to buy them, and in few days, most of them returned and said, it's just shit, it's unusable, it delays, it lags all the time, it's not usable as a mouse at all, and barely usable even as a keyboard. And look at now, like everything, high definition video, sorry, not video, but high definition audio in a very high quality goes on the headphones. So it's kind of really cool. So do expect problem with MCP implementation at the moment. That's how it goes. Now, higher API expenses. That's directly related with token overhead. You add more tokens, you have therefore higher API consumption and so on. But most important thing for us is context window. Everything what goes into prompt goes into context window. And then it all fills the memory quickly, and context window aren't that big, and you need to really care about its size. It's important. One more time, like, take a look at these. Okay, it's been cleaned because I switched to another one task. Maybe I have another one task. Maybe I have task history. No, it's a fresh one on this project. So don't do don't do things like that. That's the thing what you see here. That's a very, very, very bad idea. Context window 167,000 using with Sonnet. That's above the upper limit, and that's why this thing is highlighted red. That's a new improvement. Visual warning, you are over the limit. If it says 200,000, it doesn't mean you need to fill it. It's not a progress bar which you need to fill. It's a progress bar you want to avoid filling. Yes, smart condensing works pretty well to me, but still, like, I don't want it to be doing this job all the time. Good. Now, so we discussed downsides. Now, Radu asks why context window is 200 if the Gemini has 1 million. I so far prefer, I have at the moment slightly more positive experience with Sonnet. I know people happy with Gemini Pro, and there is definitely bigger context window. But you see, it very much depends on what's your flow. My flow, when I'm making changes, I first go to architect and I plan thing, and I plan not a huge, I'm not doing things like develop a YouTube killer in one shotgun prompting in one attempt. No, like that's not realistic. I clearly understand what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do, and then I ask architect to design it for myself. And then I hand over this task as a new task to the code and execute this task by itself. And 200,000 tokens context window is enough for me with this approach. If you're doing shotgunning, or if you're doing all the time using badly not architect but orchestrator, then of course you will need much bigger context window. Gemini has some problems before. There were plenty of problems with it. So I kind of stick to Sonnet, in some specific cases to Opus. Your mileage may vary and will vary, and that is great. There is nothing wrong to do it in your own way and do mistakes and learn from them. It's absolutely fine. Yeah. And yeah, we do need a lot to do, not a video, but a lot of videos on how to use it properly. Yeah, that's right. Good. So, and we are before doing quiz, we are going for the second MCP server lab. We will install Context 7 server globally, and we will check global MCP configuration, and we will make AI model use it. Very important thing of using Context 7, very often your model will try to avoid using it. You want to remind. Usually when I'm going, when I'm working specifically on like TypeScript React application, I will first force model to use Context 7 to read React documentation. It will get most recent documentation this way, and it will not use like things from something what I don't want to use, but it will go for the things like it will use up-to-date documentation. Nice. So let's go. I will do it on my own, and you can follow me on, or you can begin with lab if you already feel familiar with those things. First thing I want to do here is I want to terminate this task, and I want to switch to MCP servers. I will need here GitHub, and I will need here MCP. So, okay, let me quickly install GitHub here. I have my nodes and I have my token. It will be a private repo, so this time it will work correctly. But now also I want to use Context 7. Luckily, it's on the top of the list. Well, for a reason. Up-to-date documentation for LLMs and code editors, version-specific documentation. Yeah, so you can, by the way, force it to use specific version when LLM will try to use something most latest. With Context 7, you can lock it to a proper documentation. I can say install. Let's say I want to use it always, which is not that smart, but let's assume. And then you can choose installation method. Remember what I've been talking about remote installation. You can use also, like MCP server can be running remotely. I don't know, for example, it can totally run with AWS Lambda or on your own server remote. It's good and it's bad because locally installed MCP server obviously will run faster. Here I will stick to npx prerequisites node.js. I already have it installed. So I will install globally context 7. Context 7 installed successfully. And I can move to installed servers. And I see here what both GitHub and context 7 are installed. They are turned on. I can switch off what I'm not going to use right now to save us some context. And I can not context 7, yeah. And there are just basically two tools what MCP provides. That's precisely what I mentioned before. If your MCP server provides only one tool, then it will implement two public methods. Saverio asks if MCP servers can run on AWS Lambda or EC2 instances. Both. So yes, they can run on Lambda. And well, you will need also gateway for it, but yes, they can run on Lambda, and also, of course, you can run it on your own EC2. Which way is better? That is a very, very, very big question. So take a look. EC2 server will be running permanently, burning your money all the time. Then Lambda will be running all demand on each request. It will be launching, answering each request slightly slower, and you will pay per request. If you do 5 requests a day, I would go with Lambda. It will be cheaper. If you go like 5 million requests a day, then I would definitely go with EC2 instance. Yeah, no, of course they can run on Lambda. It's like would be pretty typical use case, but I would be very, very careful with running them on Lambda or similar serverless solutions. For the cases, then it's like not really. Again, you using Lambda, you pay for each invocation and for the memory consumed. There can be some more payments, but those are real. So if your MCP eats not a lot of memory and not being used permanently, then it's definitely can be a good case for Lambda. If your MCP consumes for whatever reason like really a lot of memory and runs a long time, especially, yeah, it's like invocation and memory consumed and time running, then it can be tremendously expensive and you don't want it to happen. Whew, I spent best years of my life on Amazon Web Services. Yeah, guys, I can tell you a lot about this. So let's get back. MCP context 7. So we see context 7 installed. It shows errors. It's not error. It's just an output message. There are instructions-ish, doesn't look like instructions to me. It doesn't provide any real resources to work with, and provide two tools. Resolve library ID. Method resolve library ID is how to get ID name for ID of a library for specific project, and then get library docs for some specific library. For example, for React, I guess there are some front-end developers should be here. So now, so that's the tools we are having here. We can push the button Edit Global MCP and take a look at these. That's our global MCP settings JSON, and look where is it located. It's located, oops, wrong button, cancel. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, so users, Aleks, library, application support, code, user global storage kilocode settings, MCP JSON. So it's a global settings for all the projects of Visual Studio Code. And that's this file. Your path will be different on your computer, of course, but take a look at it. Here you define MCP servers available globally to all of the projects. That's how it goes. So, good. Let's move on to the next step. By the way, I will launch a timer right now. I guess I show you enough. No, okay. I want to begin using it, so I will launch timer in a few minutes. Now we have it installed. Can you guess what happened with system prompt when we installed context 7? Of course, my friends, if we go for a system prompt and we copy system prompt and we put it in the system prompt, and now it should be already much bigger. So we can search for GitHub. No results. Oh, I disabled it. Right, I disabled it. That's why it's not visible. Well, okay, disabled. Very nice. But now we can search for context 7. And we see what in the system prompt in connected MCP servers, there are a little bit of instructions. So those are instructions related to context 7. They are not that big, you see, so context 7 adding to each prompt, not that a lot yet. But take a look. We haven't added any library yet. Now there will be, when we will be reading the React documentation, it will add React documentation, for example. Good, so we can begin. Don't save, I don't need it. Now we can say something. Find React documentation using context 7. Now working with Cloud, of course, we want to be very specific. Do nothing else. Stop there. Do nothing more. So this will tell that not to try to do anything with this knowledge. I only want to read. So perfect. It analyzes the request, decides what to do with that, and sees what context 7 provides two methods. And it starts with resolve library ID to find React. So it uses resolve library ID. I can allow it always because I want it to be happening without my approval. That's a parameter set passed library name React. So it found what React.js React.dev library ID, which has highest trust score and most code snippets. Context 7 is a pretty interesting project. For the main React documentation thing. So that's cool, but there is not just documentation, but code snippets. That is really cool, so your LLM will better understand how to do this or that right way. Not the LLM's way, but the right way. So, and then now it's trying to get library doc. This one I want to confirm because it will load some things into the memory. Currently we are on 29,000 tokens. And now I say approve, and it will do some nasty things. And it will take some time. So we see what there are things happening, and it loads data. And it loads data. And it loads data. Still loading data. And that's going to be quite expensive, right? Okay, so it's happening. So it summarizes key features and makes task completed. It attempts to complete task very well. So now we see what now we are on 55,000 with understanding React things. It suggests how to install React and React DOM. And now I can do already something more interesting. Refactor this up to use TypeScript. Now it's very well aware of how to use TypeScript, to use React, of course. Now it's very well aware how React works, so it will work with significantly better quality. Hopefully, usually it does. Than it would do without. That's especially important for new tools because you see models, they're being trained on slightly outdated data. And if there are new big changes to React, for example, then or whatever library you are using, there will be no knowledge of that in SUNNet. Now, using what we got, it's up-to-date latest information from with all the recent updates. So it's up-to-date information. And you can begin with. In some cases, you can, instead of doing this as a part, you can do it without preparation. So what I just did now was loading context into the model, explaining it to know. So theoretically, I could also do something like that, like review this app and learn what is it about, do nothing else, blah, 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 blah. So it will understand this better. It will understand what is a React and what is this application. That was loading context, and then I tell it what to do. You can just try to go for a new task and say refactor this app to use React using context 7. Because if you don't do this in a new task, it will not use context 7. It will just shotgun it. And we do want to use context 7 here, but in my case, it's already not relevant because I loaded this information already. Good. So I can try to do it. React knowledge is already there. You can try to shotgun it. Yeah, so it needs to understand current application structure to refactor it to use React. It examines existing code base, examines the files what I have here. And notice Kilo wants to read multiple files. It's parallel file read. It's not experimental anymore. It's happened simultaneously. And before you would have to wait and you have to do a separate API call for each file. And it was like that just like 2 or 3 weeks ago. That's how quickly it all develops. That's incredible pace. So now we see it examine remaining files to understand the complete application structure. So it gets our files. Now it understands the application structure. It wants to edit packages on. It will add dependencies there. I'm pretty sure about that. Checkpoints, add missing CSS loader dependencies, blah, 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 blah. So this job will take some time. Usually I don't do things like that. By the way, usually I first like plan the migration, then validate the migration, and then follow this migration. But like now let's have fun. You see killer code sponsored tokens, so let's burn those tokens in a shotgun prompting. I'm launching the timer. I'm launching the timer. We still have quiz to do. So 10 minutes starting now. Like we use Alexa at home, and sometimes like for cooking need to set timer, and that it always sounds like Alexa set timer 10 minutes, and it sets, but it was disabled or switched off or something, updating was not available. And then I just told like darling, you totally can say Aleks set timer, and she was like Aleks set timer 10 minutes. 10 minutes starting now. So your 10 minutes are running. Go do things. Dilshat asks if internet bad. I have to say what everything is super green on my connection. I have very good speed, 0 dropped frames. Okay, 200 dropped frames, but for overall 1.5 hours stream, so should be pretty good. Yeah, on my side, internet looks pretty green. Maybe it depends on the region, yeah. So no, guys, for those people having problems, I am live and I have very good internet connection, very stable connection, 0.1% dropped frames, which is nothing. Amsterdam seems ok, Germany seems ok. Okay, guys, go do lab 2. I will put the proper slide. So 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. Go do MCP. It's fine if your stream is not working well right now. Go use context 7, check global MCP configuration, and make AI model use it. Hi, Celso. Celso Fassoni. Buongiorno, Celso. Tak. Now, good. I think it goes very well. Let's take a look. So go use MCP server. Time is running short, and we definitely want to be good with that. Curious. My YouTube reports excellent connection for the whole history of the stream. So Sebastian asks, great question. What's the best practice to customize agents with specific roles or modes and specific MCP access? Celso, buongiorno. You speak Portuguese. Sorry, name looked very Italian to me. I learned Italian, so it was like, I was like, yay, it's a great moment to practice Italian. Yeah, right. So, yeah. A good point by Dominique. After using context 7, ask architect mode to summarize the info you need in an MD file. It's very good. Summarized info will be not that much of a context. Additionally consume it, but still give the LLM right understanding of what's going on. So, about using custom modes or custom roles, we will speak about that. That's absolutely in my workshop list. But if you want to have it sooner than later, then you better stay with us. There will be a quiz, and after quiz there will be a feedback window, and you can tell what you want us to stream about, and maybe we do it next week. Well, not next week. Next week we do develop your own MCP server, but next week. Next week we definitely can do it. Hey, I don't know what you're talking about. Webinar has become too long. I've done 8-hour webinars and people were very happy with that. But recording will be available. So you can long it weekly. We have booking 2 hours for our webinars. Good. Okay. So we have 5 minutes left for you to use and play with context 7. Let's see. And then we proceed with the quiz. Yeah, I agree. Dominic, I'm very fine with you. I think webinar length is fine. It's like more or less university session duration. Oh, you are sitting in the office, Dilshat, I'm very sorry, and that must be pretty late at your place. Yeah, Dilshat, you totally can watch recording, and people, like, I know for some of you it's pretty late. I use it to do these workshops actually 6 p.m. Central European time, and then our Asian friends were like, come on, people, when you over, it's 1 a.m. here, and my family already hates me. Please, let's do it earlier, so we switched for 4 p.m. Goose. Yeah, Radu, congrats. So it retrieved the last documentation using context 7. That is fine. Yeah. Time is perfect, don't change. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, but sorry you have to stay in the office so long. And let me, meanwhile, see how my thing is doing. I want to switch for coding. So it did all the changes. It did npm install. I see installed things, which is good. And npm run build browser, let run build. Most probably it will be broken. Yes, of course. Now it will fix required things in the TypeScript configuration. Yes, that looks better. Now we will try to build it again and see if it's fixed. Oh, yeah. Eduardo R says very important thing here in the chat. I love context 7 because before that I was having problems trying to explain to the model when Tailwind switched from version 3 to major version 4, which happened some time ago. And obviously model wasn't up to date, so it was trying to use documentation. It was trained on the documentation version 3, then it tries to do it for version 4, and it doesn't work. And then, of course, it doesn't go that well. So now it should be running, and I can try to open it and see if it works. Site can be reached. Why site can be reached? Because, yeah. So it created something. It's on React. So that's very unpolished. That's me playing with graphs. It's a very unpolished thing. But that's not about how it looks. That's about how it's been converted to React app. Yeah. So we see it here, and I can start dual journeys. And yes, nodes are moving. You can't see it well because I haven't yet finalized this change. Maybe I can make it slightly bigger. Yeah, maybe a little bit more. So we see there are units are moving, traveling through this graph. And yeah, I think eventually to move to game dev. And I'm playing with some graphs and other things and pathfinding. But it will happen not tomorrow, because for tomorrow I stay with you and kill a code and do things to help you do coding better. So let's take a look what's happening in files. Now we see there are components and game canvas being TS6 components. So it all uses React. And we see what canvas of the game is interface, and game canvas is React FC. Okay, so yeah, it all went to React, which is nice. So yeah, wonderful. And we see what info panel is one more React entity, and what's happened with citizen. Okay, citizen is actually what state no, yeah. Okay, I will need to explore what changed here more accurately. This project is all locally, it's not under Git. So it's usually you can say with Git what's been changing. But the main thing, it's migrated to the most recent React and migrated nicely. We see what it's added React version 18, which looks pretty stable to me. 18 is a current LTS, right? I don't really remember, but we will see. Okay. Good. Congrats, it worked. And I hope you did MCP Server Lab. Time is over, so my timer went off. And for now, dear people, with our labs, that's it. But we are not saying goodbye. We will do quiz. We will collect your ideas for the next workshops. And most importantly, we will do one more thing. We want to tell you what it's this workshop when this workshop is over. This workshop is never over. If you don't want it, we don't want it too. We stay with you. There is a link. I'm sending it to a chat right now. Kila.love-discord. Jump on our Discord. You will have questions. We will try to help you right where we or our awesome community. I don't remember how many people we have on Discord right away, but I'm pretty sure we speak about hundreds of active people, awesome people, supportive people, and we are very hoping you will join this wonderful community too. So quiz. Okay, yeah. So Brandon says there are over 2,500 people there. Quiz. Let's then go to quiz. It's quiz time. 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 And as this is the quiz time, I will also play some music. Please let me know if music is too loud or too quiet. I can make it quieter. I can't hear it. Oh, Eduardo, if there are problems, we will fix it. Don't worry. Just one step at a time. Right now, we want to have a quiz. Okay. So it's quiz time. I'll give you 10 more seconds to jump in, and if you jump in, please push the button, push the thumbs up in the Menti. So I see you are there, and I see you are doing things, and I see you are ready. I see only 25 thumbs up. I hope there are more. I want everyone to be here. Oh, Sebastian, that's my man. Yeah, hard metal should be better. Like, you know, very soon I go to AC/DC concert, and recently went to Judas Priest concert. So you touched my heart so much. That's absolutely wonderful. Yeah, so we can consider some hard metal next thing. So I hope everyone is ready. Oh, 53 thumbs up. That is good. That is something. How many people are on the YouTube chat right now? I see there are 100 concurrent viewers on YouTube. And now I want these 100 people to be in our quiz, because we are playing a game with very nice prizes. What stay with you, what will not expire. So 62, okay, let's go. I see 75 players ready. 77 players ready. Okay, give me 80, give me 80. Who will give me 80? Give me 80. And 71 1, and 79 2, and 71, 79, 80. Sold. So let's begin. So answer quickly to get more points. How do AI models use APIs normally? They make HTTP requests using built-in networks. They use curl commands embedded in the training data. They don't. They send carrier pigeons with JSON payloads tied to their tiny legs. Answer fast to get more points. Correct answer. AI models do not use API in no way. They are technically incapable of that, and I said it in the very beginning of this workshop. AI models cannot do HTTP requests. There is no possibility for that. They can do HTTP requests using something similar to MCP servers. For example, MCP Server Browser Tools and MCP servers to make HTTP calls, like curl MCP server, theoretically, why not? But it always goes text request, text answer, and then there is some intermediate, like kilocode agent or cloud code or something else, some tool doing those queries for you. Oh, yeah. Who are those two people? Very good question by Dilshad. Yeah. Good. So, many people gave the right answer, 26 people. But who was the fastest? Funky Fight, Geraft and Zoran are the fastest, with Funky Fight being the very first one, getting the fastest response tag and 956 points. That is wonderful, and that was really quick. You must have a very good internet connection. Now I ask you something. Please change your name to something what we can identify you. The point is, Mentimeter is absolutely anonymous, and that's wonderful. But then it's hard for us to dispatch prizes, you know. So if you will be the winner, please make a screenshot of your winning first place and then send it to us so we can identify you. A better change name to something what you use on GitHub or on Discord. That will help us a lot to find you, to give you a prize. Then let's move on. Yeah, screenshot it, just screenshot it. Before it was possible, maybe now Menti doesn't give it, but don't forget to make screenshot here. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be question number 2. 80 people already, so answer quickly to get more points. What type of functionality MCP servers can provide to programming agents like kilocode? Database connections, file system operations, access to APIs, databases, file systems, and other tools, ability to generate memes based on your commit messages. Yeah, that's now better. And those 2 people are staying true and honest. Go for the answer number 4. Yeah, ability to generate memes based on your commit message. By the way, absolutely doable. You can use MCPs to generate memes, like super sure. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe next week you create with me an MCP server what will generate memes based on your commit messages. Yeah, why not? Yeah. Brandon knows what he's going to do. Now, right answer, of course, is access to APIs, databases, file system, and various external tools. Now, I want to see the leaderboard. So, Funkified will give the right answer, but was not that fast this time. Paradox was fastest. Paradox was fastest this time, and it brings him to the 7th place. But still there are some more places to get to the top, so where you can get the prizes. Funkified gave a very fast response, what kept him on the 1st place. Geographic got to the 2nd one. Emmy is fighting and stays on the 3rd one. I'm curious if that's Emmy from the kilocode messaging box we recently talked about, how our abuse usage runs. I hope so, that would be nice. So, 80 players ready. Let's move on. Answer quick to get more points. Which of the following is a way to configure MCP server for use with kilocode? Installing it as VS Code extension from a marketplace, adding server configuration to the MCP JSON settings, using kilocode graphical user interface, sacrificing a rubber duck while chanting MCP install. And now there is a point that was a tricky question, and I marked all of them as correct answers. Yeah, those 2 people choosing the 4th answer, why didn't they just don't want to? I know. They just don't want to sacrifice a rubber duck. A rubber duck is a friend. How do you sacrifice friends? Right? So, like, totally makes sense. I'm with you. Good. So, now, fun fact, technically all of those questions, all of those ways to install MCP servers. Yes, you can install using kilocode graphical user interface. That's what I just did. Yes, you can add server configuration to the MCP JSON settings file. You will need to do some more operations like download Docker image, download npx script. So these kind of things. But you can do that like that. And now there is a fun fact. There is how quickly grows MCP server support. It's tremendous. Now Visual Studio Code Insiders version, so like alpha version for testing what adds most new features. It allows installation on MCP for the whole Visual Studio Code with no need to do it for a specific extension. And it's already available in the Visual Studio Code Insiders edition. So no, you will not find it in normal Visual Studio Code, but if you run Insiders, you will have it there. So all those answers are technically correct. Good. All the questions, but sacrificing a rubber duck. Duck is a friend, and we don't sacrifice friends. Friends have a family, and family and is everything, you know. So, no one made a mistake, but who was the fastest? I see voter, So you definitely can change name. Yeah, Geographic was fastest. Our friend Walter got to the 7th place. Funkified keeps holding the 1st place. That is cool, like that. That is a really smart and fast person with a really fast internet connection, I see. Amy holds the 3rd one, good luck. Zoran is on the 4th with like just, what, 100 and a little bit, under 100 points of difference, 100 and something. So, like, that's incredible. There is a really, really, really tight competition. So, let's go. I see 75 players ready, 76 players ready. Okay, 3 people dropped. Okay, 3 people dropped. Well, less people in the competition, higher chances for you to get the prizes. So let's move on. Answer quickly to get more points. Why is it important to control context window size? It's not that important. Smaller context always produce better code. Larger context mean higher costs and slower worse responses. Now, AI gets claustrophobic and panics in small context window. Some of you might recognize the question. Larger context mean higher costs and slower, worse responses. Correct. Working with MCP, we should be especially aware of the context window size. Remember it and watch it and keep it under control. And I see someone joined the team of 2. Now there are 3 people going for the 4th answer. No, smaller context does not always produce better code. And yes, it's definitely very, 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 very important. Good. And what's with the quiz leaderboard? I see. Voter was the fastest, and that brings him to the 3rd place. Wow. That is really cool. That is a fighter spirit. That is a fighter spirit. Now, Funkified drops down 1 position and gets to the 2nd place. Amy did a wonderful job fighting for the 1st place and gets to the 1st place. And that is really cool. Now, Funkified, don't be upset. And Amy, don't celebrate too early. There are more questions to come, and the prizes will be... I actually don't know. Justin, Brandon, my friends in the chat, what are the prizes? Maybe you want us to tell us what are the prizes? Are prizes the same for the first 3 places? I honestly don't know. Again, I'm not an LLM embedder. I will not hallucinate there. So can you tell me? Yeah, Dilshad, good luck. Good. Yeah, credits, but how much? How much do we give? Justin, Brandon, how much do we give for that? No. Yeah, it will be credits, but how much? How much credits for the 1st place? Tell me. We are running into the last question, I believe. First. What? No, must be kidding. Like, first 10 places, $250 each. Are you serious? That can be real. But the 1st place gets 121 credits, those credits. That is insane. That is insane, guys. Like, I didn't expect that. I did not expect that. So, welcome to Killer Code sponsored workshop. We see some things happening here. With that, let's move on. I actually want to see leaderboard for a second. Sorry, I need to make a screenshot here. That was Amy, Funkified, and Water. Yeah, at the moment, just for the clarity, I want to keep it on to be on the safe side. Don't want to spoil it. And that's a question number 5. Let's work quickly to get more points. When using MCP servers with kilocode, what is the primary benefit? Faster compilation times, enhanced agent capabilities, automated code formatting and linting, ability to order pizza directly from your IDE. Like, now I really want to, someone really needs to do this MCP. Someone really needs to do MCP to order pizza. There must be some pizza service with API, like, I'm absolutely sure. In Silicon Valley, I'm very sure that more than one pizza delivery with API. I'm very sure with that. So most of you answered correctly. Yes, enhanced AI capabilities, but well, with so many people answering right, are there any leaders who would make a mistake? No, leaders made no mistakes. And who was the fastest this time? Paradox was fastest, overtaking Zoran. Wouter is up to the second position, fighting for one crazy difference. But I don't see Amy. Amy was renamed, I guess. Yeah, I hope so. Good. So, Funky Fight, Wouter, and Paradox. That is nice. That is nice. With that, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, that is a question 6 of 6 questions with 69 players ready. No, give me more. You don't give me 70 players, I will not start it. Okay, no. 69, no, I don't do it. 70. Keep it coming, yeah, like 70. Don't move. Move up, don't move down. 70. 70 watching on, I'm not starting. Okay, let's go. Answer fast to get more points. What does MCP stand for in the context of programming servers? Multi-client protocol? Well. Model context protocol? Okay. Micro communication platform? Well. Mostly confusing programming? Oh yes, I can tell you. Mostly confusing programming sounds so good, guys. So good, guys. But most of you made it. Okay, that's a team of 2 again. Mostly confusing programming. If you've model context protocol, which is the right answer, 55 people answered it right. And there were no mistakes in between of the leaders, but who was the fastest? Who was the fastest? Funky Fight is the fastest, making it to the first place with 5,499 points. Now, each one on the leaderboard made a screenshot of your phone and prepare to send it to us on Discord. That's important, so we can give you the prizes. If you like strictly against Discord, okay, email will do too, but I guess Discord is more reliable here than that. You are getting $250 unexpiring credits, all but Funky Fight, because Funky Fight gets 250 and one. Such a generosity. Very well. There are people who are not on the leaderboard but still participated. We had 70 participants and there are only 10 people on this leaderboard. I beg you, don't get disappointed. Those credits are coming and going and you will use them, and there are other events. What really matters here is you. You and your skill and your knowledge. There is nothing what can replace it. And then, with you and your knowledge, you just invested your time wisely to be more skillful, to be better in what you are doing, to give better results, to create better applications, to developing with Kilo and delivering wonderful applications. You invested your time very wisely. So you already won something much more valuable than 250 United States dollars worth of tokens, because knowledge is priceless. Knowledge is power. Now it's a feedback time. First, how would you recommend this event to a friend? On the right, 10 yes, absolutely. On the left one, no, not at all. Now, like, show it to me. I guess you stayed with me all this time. Yeah, and yeah, right, Dominic is right. Everyone already got $100. That's a huge win. That's a huge win. And the recommendation of 9.6. I'm very, very, very thankful to you for appreciating our job. Many thanks to you for attending that and investing your time. Many thanks many thanks to the team participating and answering your questions in the comments. I know it was Brandon and I know it was Justin, our wonderful developer relations team at Kilocode. there is another workshop next week too, and we will be developing our own MCP server, and I will be helping you. We will see how to organize it better. So maybe we will do some kind of a meeting where you can jump in and we can see your code and assist you live. Saverio! I miss you too, man. Like, was really glad you joined the stream. Everyone, sign up on the YouTube. Join us on YouTube, join us on Discord, and sign up on Eventbrite. We announce all our events on Eventbrite. There is a final screen of gathering feedback. What you liked the most? What should we do next? If you didn't like something, then write it to me privately. Let's do negative feedback privately. I will give you my LinkedIn actually. But while I'm doing this, please write HTTPS. And for other related events, I also will be happy to have you there. Feel free to add me on LinkedIn, and I will read these things one by one. Meanwhile, MCP Advanced. We are doing development of MCP next time. What can be more advanced with that? Then security. Security is a big thing. We will see how it can be done with our workshops, because like write something about that and we will see. Context engineering, yes, like context engineering, prompt engineering, yes, we are doing that. Aleks, thank you so much. I'm really glad you like this job. Good. MCP Advanced, yes. What do and what not to do with MCP servers? Yes, I tried to give you something on that today, but maybe could have been done better. If you ask me for that, then it could have been done better. So, very good, thank you. I'm glad you liked it. Now I want to be here. No, current live stream stuck. Sorry, I'm losing the point here a little bit. Yeah, found it, finally. So jump in on LinkedIn. Happy to have you all on LinkedIn. Would be good to explore some deployment options. That is a very good point, Saverio. We definitely need to do more on that, like on not just how to do MCP, but how to deploy it the best way. That is wonderful. That is wonderful. Yeah. Thank you everyone for joining, especially like for everyone where it's late. Interaction participation credits. Yeah, we love it too. Step-by-step walkthrough. I love it too. Awesome tutorial. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Custom prompts. Yeah, custom prompts and maybe custom prompt modes. Deep dive in Kilocode rule files. So I have on Kilocode rule files, I wrote pretty comprehensive documentation and some posts in the post, but there can be more job done for that. Organization of Kilocode's directory, we should definitely add it into the documentation. Zoom breakout rooms, so we can also talk with you. Yeah, that would be wonderful. We just launched our workshop series. It was the second one. On the second one. So there are huge space for improvement, and we will think about using Zoom breakouts where you can interact with the team more and we can put more people on the screen. That would be wonderful, and we will see. I don't expect it next week, to be honest. And then I think next week I will be on vacation, but maybe Brandon or Justin would want to do something. So we will see if we can make workshop happening. How to build backend with MCP. That's a good point. Make your own MCP server, that's coming next week. Front-end UI, maybe, not sure. Office tour, well, yeah, our office in Amsterdam is really cool. Explanation, hands-on cycle. MCP Advanced, doing SLM. What is SLM? I'm not sure. Can you write in the YouTube comments on what is SLM? Session for non-coder, how to use Kilocode efficiently. That is a very good point, and I'm really, as an experienced engineer, I'm really glad to see how AI-assisted coding helps to non-coding people to get into that. But still, it's a very advanced field. What it's very easy to do things wrong and not so easy to get your results. On how to improve coding things for non-coders, I will think about maybe even doing a full course on that. We will see. Saverio, where did you move now? I was sure you are somewhere in Netherlands. Learn how to use the tool better. Yeah. Success with 70B local models. Locals models are complicated for now. Oh, back in Italy. Che bello. Dove in Italia? Success with 70 models. Example of rules. Yes. Demonstrate how to use the context, new tasks, rules, and best practices. Yes, we will see how it can be done. Thank you. Examples and explanations of the MCP was great. I did not understand the need until your workshop. Yes, that's exactly why I did this workshop. I was exactly like that. I was like, no, just MCP, just another AI marketing bullshit, whatever, I'm not interested. But then people began to talk about it, people around me, and I was like, okay, I must pay attention, like spend 5 minutes, see what is bullshit, and close this topic forever. And I spent 5 minutes, and then 10 minutes, and then 20 minutes, and now I'm here doing this workshop because MCP is wonderful. Thanks, Atropic, for MCP. Like, that's really, 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 really wonderful. Good. So, I think that's it. I think we are done for today. With that, I want to say thank you for everyone for joining. We are watching very thoroughly the outcome. We are watching everything you wrote. We are reading our emails, and we are reading all the feedback from the workshops. Thank you so much for joining. That was wonderful time, and see you again next week. So, thank you. It was wonderful. Thank you. And it was precisely 2 hours. I can't believe it. You are wonderful. Thank you. See you again next week.